start this point, then we'll go round from there. Right, so gas locker. So before you start it, you had the gas cylinder sitting outside. Obviously, this you've got to obviously travel with them.
Piped underground.
Obviously, piped underground. All right, so obviously a bit posh.
Gwyneth.
Yeah. So obviously that's the point where you can put say 2 6 kg bottles in there.
Do you sell the gas here?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So what we've got, obviously piped to my gas at the moment, or the company gas even.
Yeah.
So what you've got is safety features on here. That's one here. So when you turn your gas on, press that button. That will release gas into the pipe. You've also got what is called a crash sensor button there as well, reset button. So you may not have to reset that one,
yeah,
but obviously it's there as a safety device. If you obviously go over a bump or pothole, it may trigger that. So all you've got inside that is a little ball bearing. So when it jumps,
yes,
that triggers that and obviously shuts flow of gas down. So if you're inside trying to operate gas, it may be just you get no gas through, or you haven't turned it on, you haven't pressed the button, you haven't got any gas, or just a crash sensor there. So if you suspect that has triggered, you can use a biro or something like that. Just push that in, hold it in for about 3 seconds. It should reset. Okay. Happy with that bit? Obviously,
so when you connect that into the gas bottle,
this end here, it's a reverse thread. If you're aware of that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
And then just press the button.
Yeah, press the button, and that releases the gas into that point.
But when you want to stop, if you're leaving it on for a week or whatever, would you press that again to stop?
Yeah.
it?
If you no, you don't need to press that to stop it. You turn it off on the cylinder. Turn it off on the gas. Yeah. So
right.
that turns it off. That just may trigger after a while, but if you're still using it, obviously it shouldn't do.
Yep.
Right.
But obviously if you're travelling, it may do.
Once the one bottle's empty, does it transfer over automatically?
No, you'd have to do that yourself.
Yeah, you can get regulators that do that. So if you decide you wanted, you could swap it to obviously you need to purchase the regulator and get it swapped over. So you could do that if you really wanted to. Right. But it all depends on obviously how much gas you're using. If you're on sites that have got electric connection, you're going to use majority of it is going to be electric. If you're on sites obviously without electric, you're going to be using more gas.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's obviously just judged to see how much gas you are using. If you do decide you want to have something like that fitted.
Would I be able to arrange for a couple of gas bottles to be in there for when I do take it away in a couple of weeks' time?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if you let Jack know, and then that can be all arranged for you. Okay.
Okie doke, yeah.
We'll walk this way around. Now. Obviously, this is the vehicle side of it, diesel. So obviously, don't get that confused with where you put the water in. Obviously, it says diesel on it. Water and diesel don't taste too good. Obviously, it tastes the difference on that. Round the front, you've obviously driven vehicles before. You've driven vans before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's still basically the same van. Obviously, you just got this on the back of it.
The shell on the back.
Yeah, the shell on the back. Once you're driving forward, it doesn't feel that big. Obviously, it's when you start racing.
It's quite a bit of room in there.
It's when you're trying to obviously get into a place. Right, so obviously with your static, you've had to pipe water into it. With this, you've got an onboard tank. This is where you fill the onboard tank.
Okay.
So you're going to need a hose pipe or some kind of connection. On site, you will see, I'm not sure if you had any tours on your site that you were at, they have what they call a motorhome service point. So what you do is obviously drive up to it, obviously you can fill that up, and you can also drop the waste tank, because it's got a holding waste tank on this as well. So you've got a freshwater tank, obviously you need to fill that before you get onto your pitch, and obviously you don't need to drain it until you start filling that back up again. Okay. What you've also got, these come with, is a little 12 volt outlet there, so it's for a special plug that you could, if you decide to keep this on the pitch, have a water container similar to my Akrol there, alongside. You need to purchase the pump. So all it is, you drop the pump in, it just pushes water, pipes water into that if you decide to leave it on. But obviously, you've still got your waste tank, so you're still going to go off at some point, unless you have another container to obviously deposit that waste water, which is your sinks and your shower. Okay?
When you're filling that?
Yep. It's
just
Peter. Yes?
When you fill in that, is there an automatic stop?
No. If you're thinking about you just all you'll do is put a hose pipe in there.
Yeah.
The only automatic stop is you running to the tap and turning it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
there's no automatic turn off or anything. All it is just a hose pipe. Put it in there, fill it up. You know the tank's full. It's because if you just saw the water around the other side, it overflows.
That's all right.
So you'll hear water running out underneath.
Yep.
So it'll drop it onto the ground underneath. Okay.
Yep.
For winter or even for travelling, you've got a drain down valve. That's for your fresh water tank. It's an electronic valve. So actually when we go in, you'll see next to the control panel there's 2 switches. One says fresh water or fresh, and one says waste. So to drain your fresh water tank, that's how you do it. So I'll show you that when we go inside. Reasons, obviously, you don't particularly want, when you're in storage for a while, you don't want water sitting in there really. Obviously you can go stagnant after a while, so empty that. And
You
also,
mean for a while, meaning how long?
month, 2 months, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Also for travelling, what you've got to consider is that is extra off your payload. If you fill that tank, which is around about 100 litres, that's 100 kilo. You think, well, that's got to be a lot less shoes in there if you've obviously got that tank full.
Plus your fuel. Plus
Exactly. So you've got to consider that. So you could travel with some water in, because if you do pulling in anywhere, you've still got a bit of water to use. But if you've got a full tank, obviously that's going to take them off your payload.
And is that the lowest part of the vehicle? So when you do drain it, it's all draining down to there.
That for your freshwater tank, yeah. There is a different drainage point for your tap system and your boiler system, which I'll show you that anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's your drain down for that. The drain down for your waste tank is this one here. Okay, so that's your grey water from your sink and your shower. Okay. So on your motorhome service point, you will drive over a drain, and then you just drain it down into that.
So do I need to purchase?
No, you shouldn't need to purchase anything else. It should just drain straight down. You just drive over a drain. That's all you do. Or you'll be to the one side of your drain, actually.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All the fun bit, which we've got here. Oh, that comes down this side. Is your toilet cassette. Okay, so that's always fun. Right. So obviously someone will have to be going empty in that. Or are we pointing fingers?
Not me.
Yeah, pointing fingers there. Right. So before you use it, what you've got is a flush tank. So you've got a flush reservoir. So it's not flushing off your main tank. It's got its own reservoir. So what you need to do is put a pink chemical in there, small amount of pink, and top it up with water. Okay. There's a little tube here. Look, that's showing you level. Okay, and you can also drain it down. So the flush tank needs to be drained down for winter, especially. So all you do is pop that tube out, and that will drain it down. You can flush it down using the flush button on the toilet, so it flushes down into your waste tank. Just drain the last little bit via that. So release your waste cassette. Obviously this is the fun bit. So if you can see that there's that green lever there, just lift that up, it slides out. If it's not sliding easily, like the others, the wastegate which is on the toilet has been left open or not fully closed, push it back in, just jump in, just make sure it is closed. If it isn't, you're going to damage it if you're going to try and force it out. Slide that out. So, that's a bit, put that there for a moment. Right, so before you use this, blue chemical in here. So what you've got on the lid, you've got everything just about to see, there's like a measuring thing on there. You can put your blue chemical or green chemical for up on our site up here. We use the green one. You should be for. You can actually empty it on the actual pitch itself. There's obviously not on the pitch, but on the emptying point on the pitch. But blue chemical or green chemical in there. Then round about a pint to a litre of water. That's there ready then to use. So that's breaking down the nasty stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't empty that down a normal drain. It's got to be emptied down a chemical emptying point. Okay. So emptying, as we said then, so that's going to come out of there as well.
Yeah.
You've got an air bleed button there as well, so that allows it to flow a little bit easier. Okay, be very careful where you put that, because what you'll find on the chemical emptying points, it's usually a big white funnel with a big hole in the centre of it. It's usually got a brick wall surround. Don't put that on the brick wall. You go and knock that down the hole. You want to stick your hand down there to fish that back out. Not likely. Not likely. Yeah. So best thing to put it on the floor behind you. Or some of these posher sites, they'll have a little place where you put that.
Yeah.
Don't put it on that wall, because you guarantee you will knock it down there. Okay. You can access inside the toilet. Right there. I'm just trying to see if I can see the float. I don't know if you can see inside there. There's a little float.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's for an indication on the top of the toilet system. When this is full, that will indicate a light on there. Obviously, to clean it, if you tend to put a bit of water or whatever in and thrash it around like that will loosen that off or knock it off. You go and empty that down the emptying point. Obviously, you're not going to be fishing your hand down there to try and get that one out either.
Yeah.
So just be careful as you do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Handle. Okay. So obviously we were pointing fingers before about who's going to be emptying the toilet. Obviously, my colleague, he always says that these are now what are called a unisex toilet. Emptying thing,
It is,
because you've got a nice wheel and
It's not.
it's not okay. All right, I'll take your word.
lady friendly.
Yeah, it's
No,
not
it's
what they
not.
call lady friendly. So. No, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Obviously, I don't want to start creating any arguments. I'm not sure exactly what this one does on the Thetford, to be quite honest. Just transport.
No.
So an extra thing that might be to sit on top of that to
There's
help.
an arrow there and
Oh,
Yeah.
there's an arrow there.
Yeah. so
Maybe
I'm
it's
not-
like a funnel to.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. But I've never used one of them on one of these anyway. But that's where it sits anyway. So when you come to use it, you just slide that back in. Make sure that's in that position.
Click.
Then that's it. It's ready to use then. Okay.
yeah.
Bob's your uncle.
Right, next thing we come along to, the electric. So obviously this is something you don't want to forget when you're driving off.
No.
So all you've got, cable, obviously you just lift that up to slot it on. Always connect to your van first, because if you imagine you connect to the bollard first, you've got a cable, live cable, which is 240 volts. It goes across wet grass.
Yeah.
Not going to be too
Doesn't-
too good now. So you just slide that on.
Yeah.
What you've also got inside there as well is this aerial point. Okay, that is you can connect to a bollard on site or an external area which you may be taking with you.
Yeah,
If you're on a
right.
site which has got a really poor signal, sometimes they have their own aerial.
Boosters, it is, yeah.
So then you maybe have, as long as you're on a super pitch, they may have you might need to purchase a cable, or they might lend you a cable if you're lucky, so you can connect direct to your vehicle. Again, just making sure you disconnect that before you start driving off as well, unless it's a really, really long cable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. What we come along to next, this is your vent for your boiler. Okay, so you don't need to do anything with that. The only thing is just be careful it doesn't end up with any blockage. So if you're going away, obviously coming up to this time of year now with leaves dropping, it shouldn't do.
There
but-
used to be the one that was like a big
yeah, big,
cage on
big
the
stage, yeah.
outside, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's just, that's what it is now. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, coming down the back, what you'll see is bike rack fittings. So they're ready if you do decide you want to start taking bikes away with you. Obviously, there's the fixings there ready to provide that.
Yeah.
You are.
What you've got to be aware of, obviously, if you do that, you see up there you've got two cameras.
Two cameras,
Yeah, which one's a rear facing one and one's reverse. Obviously, with bikes in that position, it may obstruct your view.
Be pointless having
Yeah,
them there.
so if you
wouldn't
decide to do that, okay.
it? Yep.
And if you just have a look down here, there's obviously a little info note there stuck to the bodywork. This here is not a towing eye
Yep.
or towing. It's there. It's just if you can lock bikes to it, as it says on there. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Coming along, there, we've got a locker inside here. You've got one leisure battery. Obviously, there's room for two. If you are doing a lot of off-grid motorhoming, you may think about purchasing an extra battery, because obviously that'll give you a longer life on what power you've
I
got.
read about lithium ones. Is it worth
I'm
going to
not-
that
I'm-
expense?
I'm not sure, to be quite honest. I'm not
Talking
sure how
over
good.
£1,000.
Yeah, they're not cheap. They're not cheap.
Yeah.
If you're going to mainly sites who've got electric connection,
Which
you
you
don't
will
need to.
be.
Yeah.
Let's face
If you're
it.
going camping in the caravan or caravan club motorhome
Yeah.
sites, they're all electric.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry too much about your battery. But if you're just going for one night, probably that's enough to keep you going for one night at least without electric.
Yeah.
All depends on what you're doing. If you're starting switching all the lights on,
Yeah.
it's not going to stay
We
there.
Will there be
survived
a
off
battery
one
on
leisure
this?
battery,
Yeah.
one charge.
It's got a battery
for
there
the
now.
full day
Yeah, it's got one leisure battery on there. There is
Yeah.
space for two, but you've got at least one on there already. So
Okay.
that's in that container there. This is your main fuse. That's your main battery fuse there. So that shouldn't go, but if it does, that's where it is.
Okay.
All right. Then obviously where we get back to the door there. So you got fridge vents there. If you notice, then there's two covers for them. So the covers, what they're there for is, or if you're aware of, these fridges need to be hot to cool down, which seems a bit
Yeah.
strange. In the winter, it will struggle to get the temperature up to cool the fridge down.
Right.
So you put the fridge vents on, but they only need to put them on in winter. So when you're using it, obviously in winter. All right.
Right.
But
Okay.
I haven't been away yet, unless it's quite severe cold. It's unlikely to need to use them. Okay. Right. I'd like to go inside now.
Is it worth having the fridge on even if you're just going away for a weekend? Or just...
Yeah, I would. Yeah, definitely. It all depends what you want to put in the fridge, I suppose. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
need to live conservatively.
Exactly.
When we looked
So
at
when
it,
we
it hadn't
went
got
away
that
for that
many
long
things out,
weekend,
so I was tripping.
We
Yeah,
survived
yeah. No,
off
no.
the
These
battery.
things are
There's no
kind of
electric,
hidden
think
away
about
in
it, where we
packs and stuff like that
parked
when you
up
first
on
turn
car
up. So
parks and
yeah, you
back
don't
of
need
that
that.
field.
Obviously, people
We
taking that.
lived off the leisure battery, and we had the fridge on and everything. So
Right.
Yeah.
If you'd like to go inside.
Thank you.
That's good. Oh, look at the elastic's got on your slippers. Right, Right, so first thing we do when we come into our motorhome or caravan, just above my head is the control panel.
Oh, I thought you were going to say put plastic things on your feet.
Yeah, I'm going to put them on my head now. Well, I can't say I haven't, but it's been raining. Right, obviously when you get into your van you need to switch the 12 volt systems on, so everything in the background is run on a 12 volt system, so that's why you can operate it without electric. So to switch that on is that one there, that's your master switch for your 12 volts. So when you're in and using your van, you switch that on. So that once you're there you can leave that switched on. This here is your water pump. This one is your master light switch for your main lights, master light switch for your dimmable lights, which is the ones above the lockers, and your warning light. Okay, if I wave my hand in front of it, that lights the screen up, and it doesn't make that noise at the back of the van. That's a compressor just about to start up. There we go, off it goes. That's not your van, by the way. It's providing air for the rest of the workshop. So what we can see on the screen, these blocks here, that's to say the level of your freshwater tank. So you see that little F at the bottom of the corner. So it's full at the moment. This side, you see, that's W wastewater. That will start, when you start using that, that will start increasing because obviously that's heading towards the waste tank. So obviously when that gets full, that's when you're going to have to go and empty it. Okay, so that gives you the level of where you are.
That's the grey waste.
Yeah, grey waste, yeah. What also shown on the screen, these are the menu buttons. You can scroll up and down to see what else you've got there. So at the moment, leisure charging, 13.9 volts. Vehicle battery good, so it'll show you what your vehicle battery is showing. Solar power, again, what level that's at. Select battery, so if you can see up on here now, it's got a little L in a battery, or a little battery icon. That is taking it from the leisure side, so the leisure battery which is sitting down there. You can, now we see with vehicle selected. Right, so if you're on a site with no electric and you've ended up on vehicle selected battery, you go and drain that battery down. You're not going to start that engine.
No.
Right, so be very careful. Make sure it says leisure there.
Right.
Obviously, in an absolute emergency, you may want to get 12 volts off the engine. I don't think you will do, but just be careful because you could end up with draining that and you won't be able to start.
Yeah.
Okay. Little flash of electric there. As I say, you've got electric connected. Obviously, clock, which is incorrect. As we say, you've got leisure selected there. Tank heaters. Right, tank heaters are there for when you are using the van. So the underslung tanks, obviously you're exposed to cold. So when you're away, obviously the up here is nice and warm. You put the tank heaters on, that will protect that from frost. It's not there to protect your tanks for when, if you're in storage, you're not using it. They're not there to protect it then because the rest of the van's going to be cold. The rest of the water system can still freeze. Okay. AC limit. So on site, you when you connect to a bollard, that has got a limit of what you can take from it. Most tend to be about 16 amp. What this will do, or what this will do for you, it says AC limit is off at the moment. I can set it as low as 5 amp, all the way up to 16 amp, which is, as I said, the main one in this country. So 5 amp could be farm site, and they just have very little amount of power that you can use off them. In the centre, you see that one is fluctuating around a little bit, is what we're actually using at the moment. So if you imagine, if I had set it to 5 amp, we were above that limit. So in theory, that would have tripped the bollard.
Yeah.
Okay. What this will do, if you set a limit, and obviously it goes above it, so say you switch a kettle on, that takes it just above that limit. What that will do is start shutting down the heating system on electric. So as long as you've operating on electric, it will shut down the kilowatts on that. For that period of time, the kettle's on, kettle clicks off, it will then bring the power back up on. Obviously, if you start and plug a load of electrical stuff in and all switch on at the same time, kettle, toaster, hairdryer, if you want to be doing all that all at the same time, it could still trip the bollard that's on site. Okay. Next one, internal temperature. You will see temperatures are slightly different from that screen to that screen. That is your heating system over there. What it is the sensors are in different positions. That's why it's showing varying temperatures. Dimmer level. So, as I said, this one is your master switch dimmer level there. The ones above the lockers, they are dimmable. Okay, so you can manually dim them from here. So press the select button, which is the arrow one that looks like it's pointing towards the screen. I've set it to 100% now. If I push it again, it'll drop down to 5. See that? Okay, so you can set that to whatever level you want manually there, or if you're aware of the Swift command system, you can operate via an app, and you can also do that with sliders on your app to dim up and down on the lights. Heating settings. So also this Swift command system can also control the heater from remotely or via Bluetooth. So if I just go into heating settings, you see now it says control manual. So if you want to control the heating from that panel there, make sure that says manual. Otherwise, you can set a timer from here, or you can set app. So if you set app, you're controlling the heating system from your phone or your tablet or whatever it is. Okay, I'll leave it on manual for a second. Exit settings. Then what we got left? I think it's system settings. System settings. So that's where you can go in to change the clock. You can also change this screen here, how long that stays lit. You can change the setting on that. Same with the LEDs as well. Also, you can pair up your phone or your tablet or whatever via Bluetooth via there as well. Have you got the app on your phone?
We haven't
haven't
downloaded
yet.
it
You haven't yet,
we
done
just-
it, haven't done that. Okay. Right. So that's what's saying there. Then Sergeant, that's just the system that it's operating on. Okay.
Yeah.
Happy with that? Not too much yet.
No, you're going to have to listen to this.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason why we
That's
suggest
the idea,
this,
yeah.
because you can look back at that, because you'll be, if you leave it a couple of weeks or whatever before you go away, and they think, what did he say? Okay, and then you start, and then the arguments start. Right. Heating system. So as I said, that can control the heating system, but you obviously control it yourself. Well, not control it yourself. You control it manually via this. So on/off button is that one there. Green light on. As I say, it's operating okay. Menu button that you can go into further menu. So what's showing on here at the moment is room temperature. That plug there, that's to say we've got electric connected, ready to use. It's not operating as by that being there.
No.
So on the consume unit, which is down there, if you just have a look under this where your bag is, should be a nice little orange button with glowing away. So just lift that up. You see there, that's your consume unit. Oh, there we go. It's always fun fighting around with cushions. So if that's not switched on, if you just have a look at the heating control panel, that little plug should have disappeared top right hand
It
corner.
has, yeah.
So if I press that, little plug appears.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's your master switch. It says there, heating hot water on it. Okay. The other reason why that little plug may not be on the screen, you haven't plugged your electric in, or you borrowed no. Okay. So we'll go back to heating again. We'll call it just wind your coat. That's it. So we know we've got electric, we can use it. Okay. Obviously, if you're on a site that hasn't got electric, it's not going to be there anyway. Right. If I press the menu button now, I can go into further menu. So this is where you can control things, as in temperature you want. So this is your thermostat. I'm increasing it. So I'm just going to show you something. It will go all the way up to 30 degrees if you wanted to, or as low as 5 degrees. If I press the menu button, just go back to your main screen. What I'm trying to show you there is that little icon there. See that?
Yeah.
Little circle and icon. What you've got,
Yeah.
the heating system on this is similar to central heating at home. That is the circulation pump for the heating system. So if that's showing on there, that means it's circulating around the van. If it's not there, it's not circulating the heat around the van.
Right.
If you heard then, it sounded like the boiler just kicked in. So you set your thermostat to where you want it, so wherever you obviously feel comfortable. What I'm just going to do now is bring it down to 18 degrees. It's obviously not going to bring the temperature down to 18 degrees, but the heating won't come on until it drops to, say,
That's it.
a couple of degrees below that. You see that now, obviously the room temperature is 21.5. I've set it to 18. Circulation pump's gone off.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
Until it drops, say, it probably have to drop to, say, 16 degrees before it comes back up.
Brings it
comes
back
on
up,
again.
yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
What you've also got, water heating. So that's water heating off. Press the plus button, goes green. Half a triangle coloured in, that's your normal running for your water heating.
Right.
So that'll give you a reasonable amount of hot water.
Yeah.
You are limited because you've only got a 10 litre container, so
Yeah.
that's 10 litres of hot water. So that's your normal running for washing your hands, a few dishes, whatever. If you want to use a shower on board, you may want to boost it. So press the plus button again. Full triangle coloured in now. Don't ask me why it's a triangle, but that's what it is. That's now on boost function. What that will do is concentrate all the heating on the boiler for a period of 30 minutes. So as I say, if you want to use the shower,
Yeah.
you may want to operate that a good period before, say half an hour before. So what that will do, increase the temperature in the boiler
Yeah.
for that period of time. After that, it will convert or revert back to normal running, or you can switch it back manually like that. As I said, it's concentrating all the heat on that boiler for your hot water. What it will do is switch off the circulation pump for that period of time. So you'll have no heating operating, or it
Right.
won't be circulating anyway, until that switches itself back, or you switch it back manually. Okay?
Yeah.
Energy wise, that's all energy switched off. So you've got options on electric of 1, 2 or 3 kilowatts. or gas. So that's everything on now. So you may want to use the options of both. So if I just compare that to home, so if I had just say 2 kilowatts, 2 kilowatts is probably efficient enough in the summer to give you hot water and give you some room warmth. If you compare that to home, kettle, that's probably about 2 kilowatts. It's only about 2 litres of water, right? It's not trying to heat the kitchen,
Yeah.
it's just trying to heat 2 litres of water. That, on 2 kilowatts, you're trying to heat 10 litres of water and
Yeah.
this room. So 2 kilowatts in the winter,
No,
it's not, you're going to struggle. It might give you some warmth, but it's probably going to struggle, especially when it drops down to the colder temperatures overnight, 4 o'clock in the morning. So what you may want to do in the colder months, options of both. So say 2 kilowatts and gas. So what that will do, one, it's going to heat it up quicker
Yeah.
because it's more energy. It's going to warm it up quicker. And what it will also do is use both energies, guess the temperature, it'll shut the gas off. So it's actually prioritised to electric. So it'll shut the gas off only when it needs it. So once it gets to the temperature, it'll tick over quite nicely on electric. Unless someone leaves the door wide open, cold air blasts in, or use all the hot water, gas kicks back in again and brings it back up. Okay, so you're not using your gas all the time. That's what I'm saying. When you're talking about your gas,
Yeah.
it may, the colder months you may use more gas, obviously,
Yeah.
compared to summer. Okay, happy with that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's your basics of, obviously, increase the temperature if you, obviously you're sitting in the van and thinking, well, it's a bit cold. Or if you're sitting it's a bit cold, it might be because you haven't got enough energy to get, say if I was trying to get up to 30 degrees on 2 kilowatts in the winter, it's not unlikely to get there.
Yeah.
Okay, happy with that? Good. There is further menu there, I don't know if you really want me to go through that as well, because I don't want to overload you with too much information. There are other features in there. I'll just show you the one, which is the back, this screen here. Sometimes people, this does glow quite nicely at night,
Yeah.
and it can interfere with sleep. Some people don't like any kind of light. So if you just press on that one, you can change the brightness of your screen, or you can actually change the backlight totally. So I'll set it to dark now. So you see, obviously that's dark,
Yeah.
but tap the screen, it lights back up.
Right.
Or what it's also got is what is called invert, which is a dark screen, and you can still see the icons
Right.
on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's obviously not glaring light compared to the normal one, which is what's called bright, which obviously it is. All right with that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Good. So this, as I said, you could control it from the command system as well if you really wanted to, or you just control it manually from
Yeah.
standing there. Okay. Well, look, in the centre here, obviously you can see. I was talking about the drain downs for the boiler. Drain downs for the freshwater tank, wastewater tank. So it's just like a light switch. You press it down, that opens electronically the valve, and it will start water out.
Right.
Okay. Same with the wastewater. Remember to switch it back up again.
Yeah.
So if you've gone off pitch, dump the water, filled your tank back up, gone back onto the pitch, you forgot that, then you start using things, water's just going to be pouring
straight
down
out.
onto your pitch.
Yeah.
With the freshwater tank, if you've obviously got to site and you've obviously drained it previously, when you start filling it up with your hose pipe, you're probably likely to be having wet feet, because if you haven't closed it, the water's just coming down, draining straight back out again. So you'll soon quickly recognise that.
Yeah.
So all you do is just switch. These are now closed, so it's switched up. Like
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So what we'll do is just run through the water system. Obviously you probably wouldn't have primed the static, or someone may have primed it for you anyway. So to start the water system, when you first get in, don't switch your water pump on straight away. Make sure, one, that your drain down's closed. So the drain down, which is the boiler I'll show you in a second, is down there. Make sure all the taps are closed. Make sure the shower's switched off as well, because I've had that previously where I forgot,
Yeah.
when I've drained it down, I've left all the taps open. I've got to
Yeah.
the next site, forgot to shut it down,
Yeah.
and then water's just going everywhere. Okay, because yours is a dual shower and tap attachment.
Yeah.
So if it's up in the shower position and it's facing that door, and you've left this thing on,
Yeah.
it could be, you open that door, you're going to face full of water.
Yeah.
So make sure all these just close down before you switch that water pump on. I'll just show you your drain down, which is a bit fiddly because it's right in this corner again. Right, just hide, really difficult to see. Just behind, I don't know if you can see, just behind that pipe, there's a little yellow lever. Can you see that? This little yellow lever down there.
Yeah.
That is your drain down for your boiler and the rest of your water system. Okay, so it's actually horizontal now, flat. It's in that position, that's closed. That will stop obviously water draining down. If, or when you need obviously to drain it, lift it up so it's vertical, then that will drain down on the ground underneath, onto the ground. The other thing is make sure you open the taps to centre when you want to drain it down. Okay.